The brutal truth: why most seniors don't survive their first heart attack when alone. From my 3 decades working in the chaos of the emergency room, I have witnessed a harsh reality that I need every person listening to internalize right now. There is a terrifying life or death statistic that most people over 60 will not survive their first heart attack if they are completely alone. This isn't an attempt to scare you. It is a cold, documented fact that half of all heart attack deaths occur before the patient ever reaches the hospital doors. Why does this catastrophic failure happen? It's simple and devastating. They panic, they hesitate, and they waste the few precious minutes they have by not knowing the incredibly simple life-saving actions that could keep their blood flowing long enough for help to arrive. If you don't know these critical steps, the brutal truth is that your life could be extinguished in mere minutes. Every single day, I have seen patients carried into my ER who could have walked out alive if they had only made 1 or 2 different choices in those terrifying moments at home. That crushing pain, the sudden inability to catch your breath, the dizzying cold sweat. By the time they finally got to us, the golden window of opportunity had already slammed permanently shut. The overwhelming feeling of being caught unprepared is something that costs thousands of lives every year, and it is entirely preventable. But here is the genuinely good news, the reason I am sharing this video with you. There are science-backed, physician-taught strategies, simple, immediate actions you can perform even if you are entirely alone, that can immediately double your odds of survival. These are not medical myths or internet gimmicks. They are real vetted protocols that cardiologists routinely teach their high-risk patients. In this video, I will walk you through 7 essential life-saving tips every senior must know to survive a heart attack when nobody else is around. These are the very steps I desperately wish every patient I treated in my ER had practiced beforehand. And please, wait until you hear the secret at number 3. It is so profoundly powerful that research suggests it can be the difference between suffering permanent heart damage and actually walking out of the hospital alive. Most people have no idea this simple step exists, but after today, your preparedness will be absolute. All medical references and scientific studies I mention throughout this guide are listed in the description below. Before we dive into these critical secrets, I have a quick question for you. How old are you? Tell me your age in the comments. I personally read and reply to every single one, treating it like a conversation in my own clinic, so don't hold back. The critical first act, tip number 7, call emergency services immediately. The most critical and immediate action you must take when you first feel the unmistakable signs of a heart attack is to call emergency services. Do not wait, do not second guess, and most importantly, do not tell yourself, maybe it's just bad indigestion or I'll see if it passes. Every single minute you delay, the damage to your heart muscle grows exponentially worse. Cardiologists summarize this terrifying race against time with a simple, stark phrase: time is muscle. The longer that blood flow is blocked, the more heart cells die, and the lower your chance of walking out of the hospital becomes. This fact is supported by robust research. The American Heart Association reports that patients who call for help within the first 5 to 10 minutes of their symptoms have survival odds up to 50% higher than those who hesitate. Yet, tragically, many seniors, about 1/3 of people over 60, according to studies, wait more than 2 hours before seeking help, often because they don't want to be a bother or believe they can simply tough it out. That specific hesitation is often fatal. Imagine the 68-year-old grandfather who felt a strange tightening pressure in his chest. He dismissed it, drank some water and rested, waiting for hours for the pain to fade. By the time his daughter found him and called 911, the damage was already irreversible. Doctors later confirmed that an immediate emergency call would have given him a high chance of survival with minimal heart damage. This preventable tragedy repeats itself thousands of times annually. If you are over 60 and you feel crushing chest pressure, sudden shortness of breath, unexplained nausea, or that eerie, drenching cold sweat, you must act as if it is a heart attack until proven otherwise. Pick up the phone and dial emergency services without a moment's hesitation. Even if it turns out to be nothing more than indigestion, you have lost nothing. But if it is a heart attack, you have just taken the single most important step to save your life. The clot killer, tip number 6, chew an aspirin if available and not allergic. Once you have successfully called for emergency services, your next move is a scientifically proven bridge to survival. Chew an aspirin. Do not swallow it whole. Aspirin is far more than just a common pain reliever. In this context, it is one of the most powerful clot-fighting drugs you can get without a prescription. Heart attacks occur because a blood clot blocks the flow of oxygen-rich blood to the heart muscle. Aspirin's immediate action is to thin the blood and stop that clot from growing larger, keeping at least some flow moving until professional help arrives. The science is undeniably clear. A landmark study in The Lancet found that patients who took aspirin during a heart attack reduced their risk of death by a significant 23%. However, speed is absolutely everything here. The faster the aspirin gets into your bloodstream, the faster it can begin its life-saving work. Swallowing a pill whole means it can take up to 10 to 12 minutes to break down in the stomach. Chewing it instantly breaks it apart, allowing the active ingredients to absorb through the lining of your mouth and stomach within minutes. In a situation where every second dictates the fate of your heart muscle, those saved minutes are invaluable. Consider the 70-year-old retired bus driver who, alone in his living room, felt that crushing pressure. Remembering his doctor's advice, he reached for the aspirin and chewed it while calling 911. Paramedics later credited that simple, immediate action with preventing major heart damage. He walked out of the hospital 2 weeks later, alive and independent. Yet, many seniors make a mistake here. They either don't keep uncoated aspirin in an easily accessible place, or they hesitate out of uncertainty. Unless you have a known aspirin allergy, a bleeding disorder, or your doctor has explicitly forbidden it, keeping a bottle of the standard 325 Nimulus tablet nearby is one of the smartest emergency precautions you can take. Chewing that one pill is like sending a small immediate rescue team to slow down the disaster until the reinforcements arrive. Clearing the path. Tip number 3, unlock your door and keep your phone nearby. This tip, number 3, is one of the most overlooked steps, yet it is arguably one of the most powerful, potentially doubling your odds of survival simply by removing needless barriers. When a heart attack strikes, every second matters, not just for your body's circulation, but for the professionals trying to reach you. The simple act of unlocking your door and keeping your phone within arm's reach can mean the difference between being found in time or being trapped behind a locked barrier while precious, life-giving minutes slip away. Paramedics are trained to break down doors, but every additional obstacle costs time, and studies show that for every 10 minutes of delay in treatment, survival rates drop by almost 10%. Imagine losing those crucial minutes because help couldn't get to you quickly enough. Unlocking the door in advance eliminates that risk entirely. We saw this with a 73-year-old widower who called 911 with severe chest pain, but collapsed before he could unlock his front door. Paramedics arrived quickly, but the time wasted forcing entry meant too much irreversible damage had been done. Contrast his story with an 80-year-old woman who, immediately after her emergency call, unlocked her door, clutched her phone, and sat in a chair by the entryway. Paramedics got to her instantly, started treatment, and rushed her to the hospital where she survived with only minor damage. The second half of this tip is equally critical. Never let your phone be in another room, especially if you live alone. Walking even a few steps during a heart attack can trigger a total collapse. Keeping your phone beside you ensures you can stay on the line with emergency responders, following their instructions until help bursts through that now unlocked door. Think of it this way: your phone is your lifeline, and your unlocked door is the essential bridge that gets help to you faster. Positioning, breathing, and the body's emergency pump. Tips number 5, 2, and 4. While you are waiting for the paramedics to arrive, the way you position and manage your body becomes crucial for buying time. The first step, tip number 5, is to loosen any tight clothing and sit upright. When a heart attack strikes, every single movement or restriction affects the strain on your heart. Tight belts, waistbands, or collars can compress blood vessels and make it harder for your body to circulate the oxygen-rich blood it desperately needs. Sitting upright is vital because it relieves pressure on the diaphragm and lungs, making breathing easier and reducing the overall workload on your already struggling heart. Lying flat forces the heart to work harder, especially for seniors with weaker lungs. By sitting up, preferably at a slight angle with your back fully supported, you improve airflow and lower the pressure inside your chest, allowing blood to flow more effectively. A review in the European Heart Journal emphasized that this upright positioning helps reduce pulmonary congestion, the fluid buildup in the lungs that makes breathing feel like suffocation. This simple adjustment keeps your heart from collapsing under unnecessary strain. This leads directly into tip number 2. Take slow, deep breaths to lower stress and oxygenate blood. In the midst of a heart attack, sheer panic is your absolute worst enemy. Fear triggers the fight or flight response, releasing a torrent of stress hormones like adrenaline, which raises your heart rate, spikes blood pressure, and forces your compromised heart to work even harder. Therefore, one of the simplest yet most powerful survival actions is to consciously take slow, deep breaths. This practice does two critical things simultaneously. It maximizes the oxygen reaching your blood and brain, which are starving for fuel, and it signals your nervous system to calm down, neutralizing the surge of heart-straining hormones. Research has shown that slow, controlled breathing reduces heart rate and improves oxygen delivery, even in patients with severe heart disease. If you find yourself in danger, place a hand on your stomach, not your chest. Inhale deeply through your nose until your belly rises, and then exhale gently through pursed lips, aiming for a slow, deliberate 6 to 8 breaths per minute. This diaphragmatic breathing keeps your mind focused and buys your heart precious, stable time. Finally, while you are seated and breathing, remember tip number 4, cough strongly if you feel faint. This sounds bizarre, but doctors sometimes refer to this as cough CPR, and it can be a temporary lifeline. The principle is straightforward. When you cough deeply and forcefully, the muscles in your chest contract and pressure builds inside. That pressure momentarily forces blood out of the heart and into the brain, helping you stay conscious when circulation is collapsing and you feel dizzy or faint. Let me be clear, this is not a substitute for medical treatment or a cure, but the Journal of the American College of Cardiology noted that repeated strong coughing during cardiac irregularities kept patients conscious and maintained blood pressure temporarily until emergency treatment could be administered. If you feel your vision narrowing, your head spinning, or your body going limp, take a deep breath and cough as hard and strong as you possibly can, as if trying to clear your lungs completely. Repeat this every 2 to 3 seconds until the dizziness passes or paramedics arrive. It's a manual way of keeping your heart moving when it is struggling, a desperate measure that has saved lives. The final most critical rule, tip number 1, stay as calm and still as possible. The final and most critical rule that ties all these survival tips together is also the number 1 predictor of survival. Stay as calm and still as possible. When a heart attack strikes, your instinct might be to move, to pace, or to walk it off. But this instinct is deadly. Every single step and sudden movement forces your weakened heart to pump harder, and in this crisis, the heart is already fighting for its very existence. By keeping your body absolutely still and maintaining calmness, you drastically reduce the strain, conserve every ounce of vital oxygen, and give yourself the absolute best chance of surviving until professional help arrives. Science confirms this. During a heart attack, the blood supply to the heart is blocked or severely reduced. Movement demands more oxygen from a muscle that has had its oxygen supply cut off, which only serves to increase the damage. A clinical study found that minimizing exertion during acute coronary episodes significantly reduced complications. In plain, human terms, seniors who stayed calm and still lived longer than those who panicked and moved around. Calmness must be both physical and mental. By focusing on stillness and practicing the slow, deep breaths we discussed, you mitigate the adrenaline surge and help keep your body stable. Tell yourself, I have called for help. My only job now is to stay still and breathe. Think of your heart during this attack like a fragile engine running on fumes. Every unnecessary movement revs that engine faster and risks blowing it apart. Stillness, calmness, and conserving every ounce of energy are the ultimate keys to buying time. These 7 tips together form a complete survival map. While you can't predict when a heart attack might strike, knowing exactly how to act can be the absolute difference between tragedy and survival. From calling emergency services right away, to chewing aspirin, to unlocking your door, and finally, staying completely calm and still, each action buys you precious minutes that can mean the difference between life and death. Remember this, a heart attack doesn't often give you a second chance, but if you act fast, think clearly, and follow these specific steps, you dramatically increase your odds of living to see tomorrow. The science is clear, but it only works if you are prepared to act. Now, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and do you keep aspirin or another emergency plan ready in your home? Drop your answer below. We read and reply to every single comment because your story matters and your survival tips could genuinely help someone else. Stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, knowledge is not just power, it is survival.